And we do know over the weekend that it has been confirmed that 25% tariffs on Canada as well as Mexico. It has been reduced, though, for our Canadian energy. So 10% on the Canadian energy exports to the United States. This is effective as of February the 4th. So, I guess a couple of things. Look, I think there's still a lot of unknowns in terms of the impact that this is going to have on the Canadian economy, let alone the US economy, and big picture stepping back. What does it mean to the inflation picture, right? If companies are getting essentially taxed more, do they pass it on to the consumers? Does that increase our cost of living for various goods that we should expect to be hit with? So such as beer, wine, bourbons, fruits, clothing, household appliances. That's, those are some of the key areas that that we're going to hit the US with. So what does that mean in terms of our costs? So I think we all have to be prepared for that, and we are. And at the same time, from a markets perspective and an economy perspective, we don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know really if this is all about border security, which we think it is, for fentanyl and illegal immigrants. And then also, is it a negotiating tool? And I read something from, one of my favorite research houses. It's a global research house. And it's interesting when they look at Trump's first term versus second term. If you recall back, the first term was really about made in America, right? It's making America great again, but it's bringing everything home. It's interesting to look at perhaps what is going on now, rather than being an isolationist approach. This is really about asserting US dominance from a global perspective. And I think it's an interesting shift in your mindset to think about as we look at the United States and what he's doing even on foreign policy, even with Israel, with Russia, with Ukraine. I think it's a bit of a Panama, Greenland. It's a bit of a different approach. And I think within that, just again, from a markets perspective, and just a human perspective, there's going to be some volatility. There is some volatility. And importantly as well, when we think about the tariffs, I've said this before, look at the currencies, foreign exchanges. So currencies, foreign exchange, FX, reflects the story of the moment. And we did see the Canadian dollar dip below 69 cents. There's reasons for that. Obviously, the tariffs, a weaker economy. We've already been in a weak economy. We have no federal leadership, and we're scrambling.
Did you watch Trudeau address the nation yesterday? You may not have, because I know you're in the US right now. Did you watch it?
No.
I did. So I watched it live, and as Trudeau often does, and he's so wonderful speaker. He speaks well, and I actually think to the average person watching this, it's crazy. It's like the US is supposed to be our neighbor, our ally, our best friend. We're in things together. And now it sort of feels like they're picking a fight with us. And we're in this fight. And it's like, we were besties. And are we now frenemies? Like, what happened? And it's like, it must be over a guy. Maybe that guy is Trudeau.
God.
I don't know. But I will say he did a good job in basically saying that, he thinks it's unfounded. He thinks we do have border security and that will get even better and that we'll have to retaliate. And I know a lot of people in Canadian businesses that are affected are really nervous. Like I'm on this group. I'm in a group called WPO, which is the Women's Presidents Organization. And on WhatsApp last night, it was just going crazy with a lot of women who are in businesses that export to the US being like, this is a disaster.